Nonsia aboya mamunyina adwo amakwaba edemoba Owia Kaseɛ Kumase Stadium amekompe na ye Owia Kaseɛ etiadapa na etwa no kreyinke afa ho amamodimoni kutrewisi ammienu santamo ahwe no na ye nuanmo omosom de omani ebetie no no omode omaso enso etie no ekreso precise 105.9 FM enu so ewo Kumase anoma enye asemketwa www.owiatv.com sa enso na Owia TV official TikTok Owia TV Facebook na Owia TV YouTuber enye asemketwa bomodi na follow ye na share na fo adwenche ni ade nyina fato no mo ene ye obene mbosome ne de toso mako aduonu mu mfincham pimbienu ne aduonu ensia ne bosome miensamu na yewe madaroma ensem bebre ene ye de ba besoma na anwumre na de edi mu akoti ni animu no ebi ene se enedai aye eda ye de kan kwasom a ya nananom ekomu Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama de nsam atodwa
Ghana mampanyi abedi echi Professor Nana Jenopoku achimana de ato edwase ho behia se ye nyina betumi aka ye ho abomu akyerɛkyerɛ adwen se de beya ensohwe mu krono bo ye betumi atu ase
omen masua ye aso ye de atodwa se wo mo ye ntoto ya yate asimu a fincham pimienu aduonu nsia ye ne wa ye kebedi dwuma
na wakyerɛse Public Accounts Committee na ewesenka wonum esinkonya na enso wonum atwe asensan die ntira
sa enso na eto a eyesidi ba ko da fom so no wasofo hwe anwonene ensam so ade nsem bi de atodwa de afa won beyi ana wo munyimfiri so
ewo ensem foforo emu wode adesrede ato aban no anim se wonhwe se de beya akoma dan ekwan ye fa so edo entosifuo ehodmo no ye betimi atrem na aboa amantosi ho kwa atwe a my Ghana nya biadi
entosi ho akwa atwe a se kane babuni wasofo hwe yenku adwuma ho nsam so onwonyamfo Rekopoku waboya no ho bane ensam be na ode atodwa yi
na wonum aye adwuma ewo keteke asomoye mu womo ekogina mu ewo ministry se womo epesika
abusuya weni pi ane kanwa ya boabo no atasitase akasi ani sensasa wa yede apam sete ne kaba madoruma anwumre no nsia kaseɛ ye yede besomo yemfa na ase ni bi emfa ema Bolivia Enterprise womo ade aduane aboa manipaduane sipisita ade abadwaman so sanso na adwapin rural bank wogina brane danso na fom nya wosikasemu edwadie mu womo doruma ename abusuya pani Owusu tiomi minim ni abema
Nana Kwame Ajiman Opambo
yesi nkonwade Kaseɛ mu nchemu bra mu ntantamu aso yetu che Kaseɛ no so sa wowa ene ewo na yenchemu mu Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama yenyina yenim sa mampanyi John Dramani Mama ene abibima ye ni abrepa aye patentrene ene se ne beya abrofo beje tumo se wo mamfa kwampapa so ene ye nananom ye maamenom ye nuanom wo mbefa wo no enumumu ede wo no ekọ wo no krom koye adwumakyerefo ema ekọ kan a amu akra fincham pimienu ene aduonunum no na bibimansi ginaye na wo mo wesa ya wo mo de she Ghana mampanyini ano se wo nana ate akọ nana wokọ adwase adwamanso a na mansan kubata United Nations ne to kesa omomoden na omfa nkoto anim ampa won makwa ma omato aba ma me no Kaseɛ nipa be se wo ha aduase num ene to aba ede ema wo man Ghana ye agiatomuo se ekwan a abrofo fa so na ye nananom wo mo fa wo nomum no eye kwan bone etietie nipa fa amudie so a akọ ne sa ede amaye ewo no mo nane ye kan sa wo fan nipa be se opepim dumie 30 million a no mo ya bibifo wo no free wo mai manase bibi memma no a wonu ko nkwasom Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama de atodwa se nyina yen kamom kutu saba akofo ye mumma na yen kai sa den na yen hye no nso yen kan hunu se eyeda ensem fata na ewo se yekoso na ye kai na yedi ho abobo ene atepoi abra Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mama afruje simpie ne apaso no ensem sei ene odi atodwa
each step bringing us closer to the kind of world we would want to leave for our children. And so delegates, on this beautiful day in March, were called to stand on the right side of history. Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. Let our vote on this resolution restore their dignity and humanity. Each step bringing us closer
Ghana mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ena yete ne nka no na sede na meka no sei na abato no a wonom to yagi atomo se kwan ye fa so ema wonom efa bibi man mu nomum ema omkwaye nko adwuma no eye nko asoma nsem fatanti yanyi ntumo no sei na abato no ekoso womo a wonom ete eka se womo de yanya de a wonom bagi atomo no eye nipa ba asape ena eto editiaye saa nso a womo de wonom twen womo gina nkyɛn ye eye nipa aduonum emienu womo mankase ane womo mankase debi ana afeye womo nso gitum se no kwasem ni airtime eni kwase yesososo na yegitum prekope sa na ye kwambone no eye wo ha aduonum yensa wonom ane aman a wonom toye edefo a Ghana mampanyi ene abibi man ensemi so a akoye ni kasempa ewo ehonom
Ghana mampanyi abedi eche Professor Nana Jenopoku Achimano odi ato edwase ho behia se yenyine betumi aka ye ho abom se de beye nsemu kronobo a ekoso no ye betumi atu ase ewa bibrem atoye ama hodo emo na wo kyerese se ye betumi adisa adwuma na enye baakofo ene betumi aye ewo se obi bia etumi eka ne ho bom na afeye nyina ye suesu adwen ne ye pekwan pa ye de befa so na etumi aboa ama nsemu kronobo ekoso no ye tumi atu so esa na wode sansimi tudwa wa bra na enhyamudi etoso adioso ennan a enwa council meeting no West Africa examination council wa yek won de share so and woto nsa adefre Ghana mampanyi abedi akire Professor Jena na opoku achimame wode sansimi ekotudwa ewase ene wo kire se ewase yetumi sinkete yetumi si agina ne agina pintin se de beya ensemu kronobo a ekoso nansan no yebetumi atu ase afri honom wo kire se sa wo hwe wa yek a emfie pi ni na won ma ye nsehwe ede ama abibirem atoye ama hodo suku enkwada na wo kire se won mudi a ekita won mudi ka ne se integrity no eni kwase won tutu na se de biara da ewase yetumi kura mu pintin nanso nansamu kame akoye se ensemu kronobo no eye ama ne homene so enema bi ewurawura mu a aya na enudie na afe obuo ayewo edema ensohwe no ema no ekofom enunti na wo srese obi anye na afamu die na yenkamum se de beya yebetumi atu kronobo no ase na wase suku mpanyimfo ye wonde askuufo no ankasa ye wonde awofo ne ahwefo ye wonde na kroma ene wo man no yenyina ye yafam die na atumi aboa ama pempenso ye pese ekoduru no yatumi akoduru ho ensem a Ghana mampanyi abedi akire wode tudwa enie
certificate undermines YS mandate. Left unchecked, this risk will erode the credibility on which the entire examination system depends. This is not a challenge for the council alone. It speaks to a broader responsibility that rests with institutions, communities, citizens, and especially the students themselves. We must therefore be clear and consistent in our response, which is to uphold the integrity of our exams, to reject malpractice in all its forms, and to protect the value of the qualifications we confer.
Ghana mampanyi abedi akire Professor Jena na opoku ajiman and wadisa ensemi etudwa
na jumedi ekran ase en wasofo abedi akire hwehumesua ensem so ekopake de basie wodobonyamfo Dr. Clement abase apake na edomo no wode tudwa wo chem samubeka ya ebra COVID-19 yareremfo abeka nipa hyedem abeboman abeseman eyi nitie ewo wiase no emasa West Africa Senior High School Certificate Examination wasi insore ne ebontepua ema ne ntoto ne sede na esi court tote no ema eho ekwa achew kakra ewo ho ema Ghana nso dwumadi a ne yedie ni ade se wose yehwe ne ye no omu nyina bom ekɔ no ema eniema amfa saa amfa ama enti esesan ye eno ne nneye wode atodwa no kyeremu se Ghana mampanyin abedi akire obimfu okunyi na na Jane opoku ageman ene Ghana mampanyin John Dramani Mahama wanma kwa adwembenkro mu ahye se ngumesua so ene ntwe na omunye ntoto ye sene be ya fi champion mienu ne aduonu nsia yie yebetumi di ntoma abakire wasifu yie kwanyom fa so no omyom ntoto ye nsore no ne nyina ya ka bom ne atimi akom kutu se ne be ne ma be konkan eno nso ononyamfo Dr. Clement Abbas Apak ekyire mu se.
Acknowledge that the international version of WASI conducted by WAEC has more inclination towards credibility, compatibility, regional collaboration, knowledge sharing, and the impact on students' competitiveness within the sub-region and beyond. In this light, the Ministry of Education, upon thorough analysis of the pros and cons of the Ghana-only WASI, which isolated Ghana in the conduct of WAEC's WASI, and upon directives from His Excellency the President, and I must add, Her Excellency the Vice President, a quintessential educationist, the Republic of Ghana is pleased to announce the restoration of Ghana's participation in the international version of WAEC's conducted WASI. Ghana will therefore be administering the 2026 WASI with other member states.
Na Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia, and Liberia. Sa amani and na one do afia pema hankro aduonum ba ko di gosi afia pema hankro aduonum emienunum ansana one mo ebe mu eman Liberia enso de ntoma ebe ba kira no afia pema hankro aduoso ennan ni mu a aman be se be num anase num ya mabodin ene wo ka ebomu se ne be akotonima ene ayo mo bobusu mu wo mbehwe na one mo aye nso we ene ade enu na fedie se de kwemu asiatene ne ade nje eba ama wono asa asha asebion no mayen fefefe.
Public Accounts Committee se woko emresibe dwafia womo ene abedwoku a se ekoba se aban kurabata na se nwumaku ahodo bi wo ho ewosi edoso won musikasemu ene ade a won musi hunkonwa na wo hwe eya eho adwuma na titreni a woda won ano eye mame abena osei asare ene na wo senka won mu esi nkonwa na won toto adwen ede efa aban nwumaku ahodo se de musikasemu hunkontabuo esi etie eho na so bibia kan se korum wonu antimi amano anya adwumantie nam so amode kotu dwa omrahye dwafia na ope emrahye dwafie achi amehene na dwenkyere ansana watumi asi ho agina ano na wo che se committee no abre bia wo se wonu tenase no edonkum ane fam ane dom kese na famu wo se wonu de edom eba na afede kan se korum no omatumi afome no masi ho agina nsana nkonwasie na tumi akoso na wo mo besi ho nkonwa no eno hu se dabi ade ne so mo ka so mo ya anya de se beye na esane se yese abrewa ana ne trim abobew enti no na ewose wode kofikasie me kobisa ho asem ene na nam so wode kotudwa na mame abena osei asare ekasai ena Roxen Nelson dafia makpo wono nso ekasa bi yentie won.
We began today. It was advertised and we began today at 9 o'clock. Around 11:15, one of the whips from the majority side walked in and said we'll have to excuse their members, without their members, because one, if we don't have an available ranking, we cannot continue with the proceedings. So today we had to halt it and ask member invitees to leave and then come back at another time. So I want to seek your indulgence. What is the way forward? One, since it's been referred to us. Two, we have been given some time frame to do this. And three, we called invitees. They were all seated and waiting for their turn. So I'll need your guidance on this.
The impression that we are not interested in the committee's work is not accurate. We met yesterday and took a decision that because of the heavy nature of business for plenary, committee activities should be suspended till Friday, so that after Friday, the committees can sit. Indeed, we even suggested that after adjournment, the committees can work. Or alternatively, if the committees can sit from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., because plenary starts from 10, then those options were open. But if you fix committee activities that clashes with plenary, the time for plenary, it's hurting our numbers, because they are the same people who may raise issues of quorum. So
Enye se ebia ye boapaye enti ne yesa enra ye ne ankase ekosi nkonwa ane etoato adwen eye se enwuma hodo a ekoso mrasebedwafie ni ntino se ekobasa committee enso kotenase a enu no ebo ebra eba ne se ya na edomo ebeye adwuma e mrasebedwafie no ase won masa so wo ho eko committee ne so nti ema adwuma ne nkose de esi pe no anu nti enema ye ne sa ne mum enye se bia boapaye kwanso ye mpese committee no ebetena se na wonum aye wonum adwuma we aye majority wonum chief whip Ora Roxen Nelson Dafia Mapo and or this answer me to January no ana emrasebedwafie achi amehena bedi akira wodi kan Owia Bernard ehiafo wono so ekasai wodi to dwase wedi omo ankasa e said the entatia na ade ato won mu bom mu no enkakran na womo ayi ade afiri ho enti womo nkohwe na omo ankasa nto ato adwen se de be ya won betumi ape eho anu yie.
And no speaker for that matter would want to truncate the business of any whip. Regarding the whipping, we are in charge. They are in charge. I believe this is flowing from what happened yesterday. There were about 3 committees sitting, yet there was an issue of quorum. So if as a result of that, they have cranked the whip, that all committees should come to the chamber to do away with the issue of quorum, it is their responsibility. I, however, agree that leadership and the leadership of the committee under reference should meet and iron out the differences.
We aye emrasebedwafie achi amehene abedi akira wodi kan Owia Bernard ehiafo.
Yeko yedaso a ewo man Ghana eye mrasebedwafie ne won sensema ekoso na edom kuma ne anim se wo mani abrepa ema wono adigya adiagu aban ni chemu a ne nyina eye eneye wo mo se sidi ba ku bi aban yi de to efom wo so se wo jeje na wo de abo man hu bra ne ade no wo mo se ne se ore ntokwa ekoso ntokwa bana ne yapagya ne mu ewo Iran ye US ye ni Israel ye se de wo se mu so no mbudi chi bumfumpa etototo wo no atuo ne topa ye na no de pa ama fam wo hwirihwiri ekoso ne bo no aye boachi bidin ene ade a na no dom kuma ne se aban ni saa sidi ba ko no emfamfiri so ne enwo ha ye kakra bo ha na aban na yi ano no mo se hwe mo rafi ebra COVID-19 yi ni tie ewo ewiase nyina no ena ye magana fo nkane afiri ye magana fo nsuo free ekowi ache ne katuturi die ena Electricity Company of Ghana eda wono metri so wono pagya kro mu ntimi assessment ya ada ne blog wo we maintenance sacha ye eba ye ema energy sector levy amendment ye wo mo ye sansacha ye no mu se mfinshampi mienu ne aduonu no mu a womo de sasi di ba ko ide to so sebie kroto e ka banchire eye yisigi fuo ko mo se tampen woma no wom betimi abomode no mo de atwetwe mu a enti omu yenye enam so am so afa wono hwe ya won ne ensem so oro no onyamfo John Abdullahi Jinapo wode atodwa na wakire mu se sempo se ho beba se bo se omu yimpa wo so omu pe kwamfofra wom betimi atwi bibi nso de afiri ho na omo de aba abehwe osenya de ombe twiwo nipa no de awofom wom be koso no mabobbo hu no mahwe se betimi ayeyi anase enyeyi.
CD before. Fortunately, we are not at the 23 CD mark, but and it's largely on account of the management of the economy. Because of the way the economy has been managed, like you said, the 3 factors, the component of the exchange rate has been duly contained. Now, I agree with my brother that government must do something when it gets to a certain level. And like I said, all options are on the table. We are consulting amongst ourselves. And so it's not as if we've indicated that nothing can be done. And Honorable Hassan, if you may recall, this very House, when we assumed office, consolidated all these price stabilization levies into one levy. So the era where the Minister of Energy could unilaterally suspend the price stabilization recovery levy doesn't even pertain. So I don't even have the leverage. And it's this House that passed that law. You decided to consolidate all the levies into one. and now it's an energy sector levy. But we would monitor the situation, and we would take steps to ensure that the consumer is not overburdened. There's always a threshold. You can't allow the consumer to pay beyond a certain level. And so when it becomes necessary that that decision be taken, I'm sure that that decision will be taken. But
also for where and one in near and some so on for John Abdullah Jinapo and Yatin because Mr. Speaker. Na dem kwenye 23 na ne eto no nso yeguso ayeye ho ntoto he
mrasebe jania we jira mu adehia wo ofin so atifi abato mpesa so Dr. Fred Chei Asamoah no wode adesede ato wonu mu a edisika ehye enyuma hodo mu mekire investors se wo mfu ani nkyeremu ewo akomadan se de be ya wo betumi ahwe ama ensutaye a yede eyekua adwuma de se akomadan irrigation scheme no wobetumi di wo ho ahyemu bi na aboa ama afimu ni nyina yatimi adua entos ni bi na aso Ghana de hye na ankoba ne se entos ho kwa atwe a ye ho akokire ye na wo kasa awmrasebe dwafie no ana Dr. Asamoah kire se wo hwe entos afi bia Ghana yedi ane de ye ne yankase yatimi dua ewo ha na akeka ne mabonti tibi free mu a utumu se entemo no wa papa yentimi nnua ne dodo mu anu nti agisa abre bia ye foro hyan kwa amano ne ane akokra ntosi ne de free Burkina Faso aba Ghana na yaba abedi na wo kire se wo hwe Ghana emfimpino ane aduonum yensa wode san kontabuo no eye adwuma metric ton enko antosi a yetimi ye wo man ni mu no empem ahannan aduosia enwotwe ana yenso no yedi bese opepe ekoro achiripo ahanu ene ensia ena afi enum 1.265 million metric tons eno ayentosi edi yanko awo enti sa ukoti edi free ahana ni motumi se aka achire bebre di aka no yekokra edi free o man foforo so ane ebedi ye na sa ankomoboi eho akohia sane se enchai ana Burkina Faso man no wonum ebo amane se entosi a wonum edua magane yekofa bedi no sesei wo mu mfidi djuma ahodo no sebe ya mbenya bi no motua danem ede amma mfidi djuma ni nti no enya de so mema kwan se obi emmefa anase omunkra emfa nkwa amno ne sesei o mani mu ade beka na ye bisasa Ghana ene ntosi no ye beda ne yetimi anya bi adi ne mu enkomo twetwe na na ekoso ena mrasebe dwane ye kire se wo hwe ntosi kura ye dua o Ghana ha na ade ha adwene se wadua ma na ba no se ekwan ya befa so akura no kura na ho nsem akoye den emu be se omu nchemu aduo no aduanan na asekwa ni nyina ya ade a ewo se yetun ye nhye ya yede ebebo ho bra ensem a Dr. Fred Chei Asamoah wode tu jom rasibe dwafie bi enie
yura obedi manso ike champion breso na tomato dua ekoso kase o man na ofrase o akomadan ni fiye ene tre call tua bodom agogo ene demma ene nkura akaka no na tomato ofrase o akomadan ni mpotem no ye wom ne se yentini antoa so anye de asiye uhwemu a eye akomadan irrigation scheme aban on World Bank a year 1974 to 76 no. Europe for by 2006 or also at the Sikako Shame se obepijam na 2012 to 2013 so NDC aban ekoshe eye bibi o at the same time Osha 2017 to 2018 MPP abaya akufu adoni ba omiade mi so ebeye at the same time and in 2023 also yera akufu ado ebepejemu edi irrigation technology ebeka the woman said tomato yehia okru am ebi mo ka say 800 metric tons and tisa
Nipo de sansemi tuja ayem rasibe dwane wogina mu adehye wo finso atifi abato empesa so Dr. Fred Chei Asamoah
yeguso antosi ho enkomo ne yedie ni nyina ye Burkina nsama omode abeya Say ja wo man na di omunto sie nya de aman bi sese wo mo de ekoso ne ade a wo mu di wo ma de wo mu fie na se de ade na sia ne bi no kasa an ene ho be kwa atwe ama ya nhwe yi ase de besia kwa akoye no wanwa mu konko ba ku bi a wano a wo pento si besia ba ku seyi na wate na ade aboso no watwi makonu mpo no ho be den di ama ho na eno no so for re ya gede kwa cha ho nsem ye nuane ene ho nsem wo no nyamfo erikopoku ade abetu dwa no so mo bowa waso wakache mu pren nye prenfa no kure bia ni wa wasa asim no etosi bia ni wa ho bekwa atwe da waso sa worre abane nchicha ye mfi champi mienu ni aduonu emienu mu a wo mo fi wo mo ani pa a wo mo ye nhyehyeye operation feed Ghana no yesi agro no mu die ane wo si enkroto bebro besa mako aduo wotwe ebaako ane wo mo de wo mani kutu awisi mienu santem idi hu ye na wo mo ye susudua ehye nipa kutupa sa wo mo moden na wo mu nua ntosie ane wo sensase yantam na madam besie acre 1000 mako apem acres no ana wo mo atede yesi wo no a wo mo edidua wo mo hwe se ne be niam betimi akonkan na timi aboa amantosi no yan ankasa de ebedi hu dwuma na se de ebedi ewe mamu no kra no ebetimi kra buso de amaye afi wo bewie kra no wo de afuto chenchenche de akọ ade ama obi a wo Ghana bia se wo besre musifie na munya mutase efo enefom aduwo nyina yato watas na munya asase ne baabi kakra anya hwe no wode nse de wudua flowers ye na fantosi mienu bi fa hye hinam na fasi ho wose ntosi baabi a wudua ne bia ebo tiyamie ni nko ho sane ebe garden kakra ewe fie ne yetimi nso ede aboye ho so kakra ono nyamfo Eric Opoku
have a gap of approximately 300,000 metric tons to close before we can attain sufficiency in tomato production in Ghana. But we have to understand, we have to have a better appreciation of the challenge, the root cause of it, before we can prefer the appropriate solution to deal with it. While our counterparts in Burkina Faso are doing 18 tons per hectare, we are doing 8 tons. So what is the problem? The problem is the seed, the variety that is used in the production of tomatoes. And so we have decided, and this morning we had a meeting with Waki of Legon and some of the research institutions, and they have given us the assurance that they can give us a variety that can give us more than 20 tons per hectare. Yeah. More than 20 tons per hectare. So we are asking, we are committing them, we have made some resources available to ensure that we develop that variety to bring a lasting solution to the problem.
Wono nyamfo Eric Opoku ohe nuane ene ewo nsam so ene ete nka na ate eche na ye abampape kasa ayase ebra Yesu na woni na mpona no wono na okwo oba adwamanfo no hono no sa wote ekire wa oba adwamanfo wi no ne koto zedidi sa na wo yi wa ekire
na abusensremu ye betodo kono na on gakenke no yesi epemaku na de omusama ya na ase nkwan won
yasem no wako ken mi kuro mu ja ache na maame bi ton mu mi so ye de na mbo okuro idin na japasi fo no betobi na ni still na wa ya na yase nkwan na nkura no wo mu nim na ba ko ba ye wunim na wakasa nkwan ya wone wode enti wodi aduane na yase nkwan ya egusu ya asa woko no se maame mpacho maame won nkwan wo se wuni no se na ye nkwan edidi mu
yese we dokro no boku anye dokro ne nkwan maku nkwan you too much I will say ye to Kaseɛ bono eso so afọ wo hye enuane ne kuadwuma ho nsem so rere kopoko yen sentwerefo nhia mu na enumu no wode atudwa wakyerɛkyerɛ mu esesa wo hye ekwane a efa so ema omai Ghana entosi ho kɔ atwe na enema bebre ene kabom ema eba ne sa wɔkyerɛ sɛ wo hye omai a hectare bese empem aduananso eda hɔ sɛ yɛde edua entosi ni bia yetimi enya tons no bese empem aduokonomienu 92,000 tons per hectare eno na akoba ne se wose ya na wo fom kra eno no na ne nyina nkamfua no wose yetimi dontos ne mane base ya emu be se wo nchemu aduasa na aporokwa ense wodi tudwa bi nie.
We cultivate close to 47,000 hectares of land, and in the major season we do around 92,000 metric tons. But per hectare production is just 8 tons. So regardless of the size of the land that is put into production, our total production is always low. So if you want to solve the problem, it is not about increasing the size of the land under cultivation. It is about developing the variety that will maximize the output for you and creating the atmosphere to ensure that indeed you maximize your output. So then again, we also realize that in Ghana here, post-harvest losses is around 30%. So all the tomato that is produced here, 30% go waste. So if we're able to account for 510,000 tons, it means that 153,000 tons was wasted. So if we're able to put in place mechanisms to manage that post-harvest losses, we can increase production without increasing the size of the land under cultivation by 153,000 tons.
Anamo ahodo a won mu tu se de be yan tosi won kwatwe e wo man Ghana mu ho a wodi wani ekire mu watifedo amantam ahodo be senum no mu a bohos ahodo be sahanu aduonu 250 ana won mu hye ne watumi atutu se de be ya ye betumi anya bi ne yedi aye adwuma wo se eno nso enanchen asase yantam hectares ne be sahanum ana no nso Tano irrigation system anonso ye se de be ya ye betumi anya ensuo na edi apetepete ye nobaye no eso anonso nanchen wo se asase yantam be se hectares no oha ana nonso akomadan wonum age edi eso no wase nyina ya namo a wonum tu se de be ya ntosi betumi adua bi ewo oman Ghana mu na eho enko atwe.
In the 5 northern regions, we are drilling 250 boreholes. 250 boreholes to provide irrigation for the production of vegetables, especially tomatoes. Then this morning, we have also done some arrangements. We spoke to management of the Tono irrigation system. And the Tono irrigation system has been fully refurbished. As we speak, it is making available 2,400 hectares of land. But because the farmers were not getting buyers for their tomatoes, they shifted from the production of tomatoes to the production of rice. So we spoke to them this morning, and they have agreed to make available 500 hectares for the cultivation of tomatoes immediately. In fact, they requested for a buyer, the assurance that they can have a buyer who will be ready to buy as soon as it is produced. We introduced a buyer to them, and they have agreed to work together. So immediately they are moving into the production of tomatoes. In Akomadan, we check our irrigation system there, and we are also getting 100 hectares from Akomadan for the production of tomatoes. They also ask of buyers. We introduce the buyers to them, and they are mobilizing to start production immediately. And so looking at all the interventions that we are putting in place, and the fact that we want to procure and distribute 13 metric tons of improved varieties of tomato seeds. And then again, we are procuring and distributing nationwide 69,000 metric tons of fertilizers. We also want to procure and distribute nationwide 883,200 liters of plant protection products. And then
na swafo a wo hweku adwuma na afenuane won nsam so amano anso sanso abo amane se wo moden hye bi ato akwam no ehye feed Ghana enhye no ase sebeya secondary schools ahodo be sa hanan ane dumiensa ane wakurikire won mudin ade agu nkrata mu se de be ya won mode wo ho ebehyem bi na ntosi no omonso adua.
What we have decided to do is that we are going to supply seeds to the secondary schools who are working with us under the Feed Ghana program. We have registered 413 schools. All these schools must also go into tomato production. At least for them to feed themselves on campus. That will also reduce the demand because they are able to produce to feed themselves at that level. Then we also have churches and other agencies who have also registered to work with the Feed Ghana Secretariat. We are urging all of them to also move into that space. Now the demand exists. What we don't have is production. Whoever wants to take advantage of the situation can just mobilize and be in that space. The ministry is procuring the inputs and make them available to support individual farmers, commercial farmers, smallholder farmers.
We ayo for Eric Opoku ono ene swafo a wo hweku adwuma ne nuane won nsam so ene wo akyirikyiri na mo award mu to se de be ya ntosi no eho enko atwenti udua ntosi wo fie ofa akyire ho a na wanyankokon ketenketi anyinyini ni bi mpusu na ano no na wona wo sene no
udua jene kakra leko kakra ntosi kakra nkokon ketenketi nso ni enti osa dua kakaduro kakra de ka ho a ene no ano no why light soup now na wo sen no wo kono eda so a wo hwe Owia Kaseɛ mfonyini e wo Kumasi Stadium amekom sa enso na precise 105.9 FM enso e wo Kumasi ya mutie edi free ho no mo yento aso na yemfa emamo Ghana for mebia mo yasuafo ho akodi nsensem wo nkrofo amman eso a sika e wo se eboa na oman ne de bo wo no bra enama basobode scholarship no enho akwa atwe de ntimi nkontie mo akodi nsensem yakra ena Aben University of Memphis or United States of America ebeto dwa se eno eka da wonya kaketwa eno nti Ghana for ma won mo gentetie wo hoi yesa won no so the red pen aye ye won monim se won man hwe ya ye be pam won mo ne age won nkrata de free won nsem ma aban no etubri katente kopa American dollar no opemba ko $1 million ya wode ekobo eho ebra ewo ene wode wani echem ewo United Kingdom a ebi efri won mo eba echremu a esuafo won so akwa abeni nsensame ewo ekwan weye mu ebiem a mene wo ekasa yie won mu euros no mapepem makomako aduasa emienu 32 million euros na chese omei edia enya asem ketwa enam so ama wo man Ghana na musini a wogiremu ede maye ewo United Kingdom wo akwena sponsor ampa wato da numtuo ama wakyerem se eye nokre se de yekoso ni wo muguso ni abanu edi kasubom etoato adwen esoi adwene kwanyo mbefa so ama wonu ewuram ewa abaso bode wonu asyewa yes scholarship secretariat ya ombehu kwampapo mbefa so se ne be asuafo yi wonu mode sua wonu mbadwe wo mo no manya tim fan so ede asuade.
It's all about money. You get money to pay the arrears that we owe the schools way back from 2020 to now. So if we are able to clear, I don't think any of them will find themselves in that kind of situation anymore. We are doing what we can as a commission to get money to clear those debts. And I think you know about how much we owe the schools. I mean, it's like a whole ministry's budget. You know, we're talking about £32 million. That is a lot. But we are trying just to make sure we clear those debts so that the children can go home. Because of that, I think since 2025, we've not been able to give any scholarship into this country because no school will accept you if you owe others. So we will do everything that we can to make sure this particular problem is resolved.
And on that score, have
Obaina senior war United Kingdom akwinanse kwansa ena wachirimu edi amayeno.
Keteke adwuma fonka mu kwa wo my Ghana mu ene won mu tigo monten so mo asem nyina ene se wo mo efasa yechire so aka ede akire Ghana aban se komo ya na won mo aye adwuma be se abosumi dunan ene akire won mo akatua aka mbesi na yentua emfa ema wonom wo mo akire se emu eyeyi enunti se de empanyimfo kan se oyafunu yo ye ne se wanwe wo sia yenhu ne yapɛ aduro ede aye wunti no de na abedura ne se won beti wo ho agumonten so nti enei asoye a wono hwe akobadie nsɛm so atena yem ana wono kokɔ gyina ya na wɔde ɛkyerɛ mpanyimfo sɛ afɛdi ɔmayɛ bia ɛyɛ yɛnhwɛ na wɔn makatua ho nsɛnsɛm na wɔn asetena mu nsɛnsɛm yɛntoto no yie kyerɛkyerɛfoɔ panyin adwuma adwumayɛfoɔ yi wɔn nkabumukuo no awura Benjamin Esuman wɔne nsɛnkyerɛfoɔ kasae a wɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔn aka bia nanso ɛkame akɔyɛ sɛ wɔn nsɛm no yɛyi ne to twene anu nti na manne wɔn atigu mu nten so yɛntie wɔn nsɛm a wɔde to yɛ nimu bi.
We are working, Chairman Pakadan, the same way workers are breaking the trees. According to Chairman, no, it's not our fault. The workers are ready to work. It's up to the government and the politicians to boost and resource the sector. And that's what I'm saying, that if it's not the influence of our politicians, railway shouldn't have been this. If you think that some people have disbursement, those who are saying that hold them accountable, and the workers, we have to supposed to be free. We can't hold some people and come and hold us at the same time. We have 853 workers, and what we are saying that we are demanding our money, the scrap money, by the first. And you are telling the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he gave approval after 30th January that finally they should use the scrap funds realized to defer the alternate salary. We are asking the president. He wrote the letter. He made the instructions. He gave the directive. What is he telling us now? We are waiting for you by 28. 31st, we need our salary.
Nipa yɛtene ni ɛyɛtwɛtwɛfoɔ panyin ɛde maketeke adwumayɛfoɔ wɔn nkabumukuo owura Benjamin Esuman.
Yɛnkɔ anti-illegal mining operation secretariat na imos wɔn asoɛyɛ na Colonel Dom Bua a wono na wɔyɛ panyin kwankyɛfa wɔda wɔn mo ɛba no operations ahodo a wɔde nsɛm bi de atodwa sɛ wɔn mu dwumadi a wɔn mu die nyinaa ɛyɛ arɛwosɛm sɛdeɛ mmɔtɔfoɔ amɔfra paa wɔn ebu mu ne adeɛ no na ɛno na ɛbra na wɔn yɛ editor forum na wɔn mu kyekye nsɛm afe no ne fa baabi a yɛdure yie ne ɛkɔ so ne wɔn mu dwumadi a wɔn mu die no wɔse ɛho behia sɛ asɔre a wɔn hwɛ mmɔfra ɛma ani asekyerɛ mi yedwo ne mpanyimfo ani ntina wɔn mu ka bia wɔn mu odi wɔn ani behwɛ nsɛm a ɛkɔ so na wɔn abɔ ho brasan sɛ ɛnkwada no ɛdɔɔso dodo.
One phenomenon we observed is the issue of children in a space. There are minors in a space, and that is a concern. So we've relayed to appropriate authorities, social welfare, through the ministry to see how they handle. We have the details where we got them, and it's a trend. These are not the only ones, but the ones we laid hands on. Then also some of the high-profile galamseyers who are arrested, we have details of them. What happens is that we leave the NIMOS as an operational arm. We keep to clearing the galamsey from the space. Whenever we arrest, we hand over. If you're a foreigner, we hand you over to immigration, and then locals to the local police and the Attorney General to handle the prosecutions. So NAMOS focuses on the operational aspect, getting the water bodies cleared, forest reserves cleared, and then clearing them from along the road. And that is what keeps our focus.
Ena wotu aswa wade kokobo ensam edema o mamfo a eya na 9 months ebepio no mpeso mo no mo tigina ti adankra mu no mo kyerese wo mo nso be ma no waka kyerɛ wo mo senso hye mfa nipa ensionyu na fa nipa ene ebu ayi yesi wodo nipa pe nipa pa nanso wo se wo mo hweyie wo mo sa wo mo no so wanwe wo betukotie e de so ambo no ankasa yem.
We had a few brushes where one of my soldiers was shot. Luckily it was in his thigh and he's recovering. But as I reiterated the last time, NIMOS will not stand by and watch people use weapons against us. We are better trained in the weapons. And therefore, I'll send a warning out there once again that anybody who does, NIMOS will deal with them ruthlessly. It is a problem that we are trying to address, but we have the right to self-defense. And let no galamsey miss that. If you go to the field with weapon and you try to fire it, a lot more will be at you.
Anti-illegal mining operations wano secretariat one operations ye wotua no de ma no de tudwa wo chem so manfo enwane mfisa ne yobone eni subanfo no
na ewon sentrefo nhyiamu anаймos ne due wo no mo eyeye ne ho no na Colonel Dominic Bua ede ato edwa se excavators ahodo a won fiti ase se won wodi dwuma wagene nyina na mu nkontabuo ho kama excavator no ba kokora enyira na oyia no sanse ebinum sise asa excavators na magene kora no unhu ba bi afa ebinum si binum ayira ebinum asa akofa ayira yira dia free ba bi omudi kosie ne ade no wose da bi enyira omoba nkontabuo won betumi abu ade akire.
Excavators. Every excavator seized by NAMOS is intact. And I reiterate that every excavator seized by NAMOS is intact. And accountability, the ministry will render account, and the government will take a decision on what to do. But NAMOS has them safely at locations that when they call, I'll give you. The weapons too are intact. I've received a letter from the Small Arms Commission, and through the ministry, this weapon will be documented and disposed of. Next.
Na wamano anso sanso ade ato edwase woko a won masai e wo galamse so no ne bo edin ye papa yijai ade bo aban ko aso se won fa ho ka aban entumi nyanti wosre naimos wo mu hia moa ahyen ahodo om de betu anama wo mu hia bi afi sika nso wo mu hia mu moa enu nti obi bia enyina famu de emfa enso won masenim.
We need vehicles, we need money, we need all the resources. So I think you've been hearing the Honorable Minister speaking, corporate bodies who want to support. Why not? The challenge is not for just NAMOS, it's for all of us. I mean, the water you drink, you know where it comes from, the consumer you eat. I don't take meat. The fishes are finishing. So whatever support you can put at NAMOS disposal, why not? Pass through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Let us receive it. We acknowledge you, and then make it known to the whole nation. You are media people, so we'll call you.
Director our show operations so Edima NAMOS eku awon mu na ehwe na awon mako ede etia galamse wo my Ghana mu Owia Colonel Dominic Bua and we dey sansimi to 20 enje kakrai na yemfa nkoboa won
yenwura pomudi mu na wosofo abede e kira hore apomden ensem so no nyamfo Grace ayensu da kwa esikando ketan na shebedwani na wode nsem ede atodwado ani kiremu ewa hafo mantama doctor for be seduonu baako na aban apa wo se wo nkonko ye adwuma ochemu emu be se ba wotwepe na akwa koduru wo mo maka no kaka wani na obunkunta na atwemu kroji na tese de akoma wo mo maka no nkoye no eye ba bi o mo betena ene mo de be ye adwuma ya sabia wodo no mu no enwa kwatwe eno no so afo edi atodwa se wo bugu so abo mo ye ntote abo mo di nkomo se ne be o mbeboa ama o mo nsa aka wo maka de na afeyie no a doctor fo bebre ebe kwa hafo mantamo ene mantama wodo aka na akobo adwuma e wo no mama ne ma etimi akonkan na wo kọ akwansra odi na ni chemu e wo Sutifin North District Hospital eye fa ho ye den chip compound so ene nkasem health center ene ade a wokonwunzie na awrai kase no sadi tudwa wo chemu se wo mo be wo mu ewuo wo mo me ewuo ni ade no eno so ya ade a ekosoro pa ti o matrase no so wo mu so adwen di hu nkomo no hu no puma sibre ewo ho
are happening in the CHIPS compound and the health centers. So we want to know what are some of the issues surrounding it and how best can we retool the health centers as well as the CHIPS compounds. We posted 700 doctors to district hospitals because there's a lot of health disparities, patient-doctor ratios across the country, across districts, even within the same district and the same region. There's a lot of health disparities. So we want to bridge that. So because of that, we send doctors to district hospitals. Some of them have shown up and some didn't. In Ahafo, now they have 21 and only 8 have shown up. So that means that some people didn't show up, and the question is why. And those who didn't show up, we'll have to replace them. But second, those who have shown up, we have to encourage them to stay. So today in Ahafo, at the Goso District Hospital, we spoke to 3 of the doctors that have come. They had a few issues, but so far they're really enjoying it, and they even want more work to do, which was very encouraging.
Oswafo abedi echa wohwe apomden ensem so ononyamfo Grace Ayensu Dankwa na yeche ninken.
Titreni a wada emadon fukua ewomrashibedwafie ano mechereche person Women's Caucus Parliament. Eye ma me comfort doyo kujo. Na wabokoko se emema na amadwen se enkonwa hodo a emrashibedwafie ematete so te sa so kwane ade. Chese mfimpinu ne aduonu nwotwe. Mubehyeche ne makogina ho ahye nika na makwakofa nkrata ne ma na kopre no. Ose ene emema ne bebom tituo ne aye ho bema woni ema kwakopri nkonwa ho yi na yahye ade mamusa na ese monimo guase. Ose eba se beboa na wo kasa ede afa na nsanwu nhwemu bi a ekuo bi aye wo kyese Ghana ha se wo de gunsania ne wiase afa na nyina ye toso beso ha aduanan enkono wi ama hodo beso ha aduwotwe adisi ho a ema ede ye ho ehya amanwesem no Ghana ha de ne wo fom eno na na ma medo yokujo kire se ho behia se ye betumi abom ma ne ho ban ewo mrahye enti amfimpinu ne aduonu nwotwe enkonwa na ema tete so no oye bema enkofa krata ne wo ba bia nkopre ne pa ba bitina.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the global report which we brought from the UN is disheartening. If you look at where the blue line is, are those who have done better. And if you look at where the golden line is, are those who have not done anything at all about women when it's come to women. Mr. Speaker, there is 188 countries and Ghana is 149. Which means we have not done well at all when it comes to women. The Women Caucus will go to Speaker and show it to Speaker and tell him how best he can support the women so that we retain our seat. Mr. Speaker, from there we are going to the President of the Republic of Ghana and show him the report that we perform abysmally in the world records. Mr. Speaker, all men who contest women in this parliament this year or next election, we will name and shame them because we need to protect the women. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Enti we aye chairperson Women Caucus wo o my Ghana mrashibedwafie ma me comfort doyo kujo ade wo chese emfimpinu ne adunu ngoche wo be ma kwakofa krata na woni wo ba akopre e mrashibedwafie ho no ade so mbo odina ya bo tutu
ni ntutu bone ne se wo yo ba na oni wanya akonya na ye mpia de obeya nso obo adwumaden a be me bi ono be contest bi ombeto aba ne de etia no enti democracy ni njasa chenchenchina achi yenziki o ma won mo fa when we board you madin beto abade ama nti we nye operation name and shame bia wo mfa nko keta ache so ene ehia
wo fire be
dia yenko afo ano South West District na yenko di nkomo won na me na okasa ye besi samre wonum ntimi ntoaba enyi presiding member ewo ehwonom wo mo de kobo ani a omonyo wo bia ntimi nya yebumu miensa na emu mienu betimi amu wadi nkunim ne wo mo de akwache so sesia ya anko wie payo eno ekowie se onwonyamfo po conscious wono enya emano aduonu ensia ewo ho ana James apia wono nso enya amanu edunsia ewo honom na yese ni nyina mu no ebupa miensa na obi enya mu mienu no ansa anko ankosiaga na anu de a wo mo kokoto ye nso saa enu kowie na bobo so saa enti eneme ne wo kasai abato komisansia na emu a oba ye begina animu na wode na ni kroji ehwe abato ye koso emu ade atodwa se wo masa atwe ade asensen ehwe na fua besedu achi no na wo masa de ababbo so bio no mahwe se betimi atentam a enam so ma assembly members ni bi ade wo mo nsam de atodwa se we be mantam na nasa mensiri no wono mpuntudwuma abontepu a ema ne man konkan ti wasre se wo bia mfa na manwosam ento nchen na wo nkamom na wo nto aba ma mufua se de be obetimi abeboa ama mpuntudwuma akonkan ewo wo mensiri no
bia kono ye ni anye every se assembly no se anya preside member yedwuma die bia no nkoso enti ye ne wo kasa be anye ye bet ye be saba bio enti se de ye be ya adwen se ye be ko fiefie mu ye ne wo makakasa yie ne ya kire mu die ntia e we se anya preside member because anya preside member assembly
mesere me nuanom nyina sɛ yɛnya presiding member ɛwɔ NDC mu dia yɛ dwumadie nyina bɛyɛ basa ɛmmoa ɛsan sɛ ɛbrɛ na ɔmo aban mu no ɔmo presiding member ne enim nneɛma na ɛkɔ so nti sɛ nɛ ɛsan kɔ ba sɛ yɛsan de presiding member abɛhyɛ ɔmo nsa deɛ na kyɛ sɛ yɛbaeɛ na sɛ yɛkɔ de member abɛhyɛ ɔmo nsa deɛ na kyɛ sɛ yɛbaeɛ
yɛ MPP foɔ na yɛka sɛ MPP kɔkɔ so yɛ pɛ sɛ yɛ nipa ɛden ɛbɛdi presiding member no ɛma because yɛne DC ɛkɔ ano nkrom sɛ nyame yɛ 100% a ɔno nso di MCI presiding member no yɛ den ɛbɛhyɛ animonyam sɛ ankɔba no saa yɛtu wie ɔno nso ayi obi sɛ ɔmo yɛ den ɔmo bɛ contest yɛ nipa no nti yɛ mpene so kyina sɛ yɛkɔba 10,000 times koraa na yɛbɛto aba ɛde atia NDC ni na ɔbɛba no 10,000 times
one to millions of crumb to about the NDC and yes, I'm also go on.
Yes, I was here, Yanko and Kra and Enkrama Semue. Na Institute of Community Sustainability ICS sa and your friend Wonum. Na a Yakoba qua 1 or 2 on what you was said, and Kra and Enkrama or 1 for 2 and nite. ADSC 1 was so every one and namono. Sir, and 1 to a nail moya. Ti omotumia famuana omonya lawyers ache se ICS ekui ena omasori agina se moawe kakreye mosori amawe nkra ne nkrama sa se die wo meka bia mamoa no ana mo kire se nkra ne nkraman wo mo ye nipa namfonom woka se okra bra no wo ba kraman bra no wo ba we yawe no enti omani abere ana mo ye se da bi omoma ne nso a wo mo bontoa ede akọ apue mantamu framantamu enkrampuni mantamu atifi mantamu akyerɛkyerɛ ɔmanfo mo ate ase yɛsɛ de bɛyɛ enkra ne nkrama awie no yɛbɛtumi agyae na wɔn koduru baabi no mo sɛ kai akoa no woni wɔn yɛmfi no ɛna wɔn dwagu no so saa na ɔsɛ ne wodwane pɛ baabi faayɛ na enei wɔne wɔ Owia TV ɛne Precise FM Abon komo akyerɛkyerɛ de course yo mu potee executive director Eric Jerry Edu ansoma de tudwa bi enie
enkrama ne enkra no omo ye ebusuafo a enyo ose enyo omo tena fie omo ye emmoa awose ewe wo omo nti ye de tudwa na yesa ke se ekọ ye mpa pa obo ekọ ye no na ekọ north du ono ye no mo kaza ye du ona na obi eja wakoto ba ko a ode ne ko nti me physical no me bi say ode kama na ekọ yin no so okowari this weekend na list na mo de man no ne konta na konta for ni law for ni say mo pe kama ina mo de adam say nto mo kama de ade no manto oba ometumi anya ne wa wo ba ma wo mo no so David ade a omoko na omo akore ntimene ne kasa no na nkofo no de omu nimi jaga na nkofo bebre nim na mu so nkofo say so you people we yakatira mu na mumba na mase aba no yakatira mu wo social media mu ba ebe bu mu na mase aba no ene de ebe bu nti obra sim no mu se ba ko aba nti mu no ba ko abom me hook no de me attire me car no say ye be den obi asoma ya na ade na pese ye se o nti se nia ne ni ye we ni tentem na me bi nya kwan bi e car na me ko che front na ye driver ni tia so this say dia grow because no musu ba ko se bra be tinchim na so be twa yina se fi na so ye den
ofo wo mo age akontesi kwan wo mo de no enye se bia mo gisika eye okra ne nkraman na ya na hyem ana wo kwa akosi kwan a wo mo ayiri nin na executive director ede Emma Institute of Community Sustainability Owia Eric Jerry Edu ana de sansemi tudwa
Abuja yemfa nase emfa emadwa Bureau Bank omde sika botre dia so asem ya de kase ya de bremo sika semu dwadie no mesro se wusa won mo agya wadwo na wokwa akwa wontifo ani ekire mo hono mo na ne wo mu ni ye nafu abesa na se vinche aduana ba akuni wo mo gina wo namro so shares no won mo eton ti obedal *389 *984# na wa follow na wa share no wa to form so fixed deposits 3 months 6 months and 12 months so egum den fa so pay wa na wo scholarship bebre na eka ho ebeboa wo sika de bo be sienti frɛ wo mo e wo 0242387498 na ni wo mu eni enkomo
se enye future life smart food ya Bolivia Enterprise dia ba na wudidi anya na wudidi gu esanse enei aduane papa aba na aduane a obedi nso no kire sede onipa aduane besi anyini ene ekwan ebefa so a obenya apomudin anu nti na ya Bolivia Enterprise the future life smart food aba edwaso eboa sede be ya diabetes ne pressure ne ade no wonko enkonya bi na se wanya bi mpo a ebetumi ahwinhwan so amano akofom future life smart food fiber protein vitamins and minerals ahye machom anunti eboa ebistu immune system no ama brebia na wo apomuden future life smart food ya Bolivia Enterprise ya bedwaso ne yenye den anu ane se wotia na de agu ade na de nsu aka ho na waka afran wadi wade kama ya Bolivia Enterprise Kumase anom ofri Sofolai na wodi wani chim patase kwan so alignment ho ene wo aya na woni wonum adinkomo 0242878090 and 0246010150
Yenko Owia Kaseɛ no banka busua fisi eno Asalaja Ga South Municipal enkran pumpuni emantemo na enkran ya rawosam krefru abekensa echirema langas feyi ebi abomode arenyame anima muomode wanipa bese basa wonom atwa wonom ti edi afri womu ni padua so na aka wonom nkuntunsini ama ba ko so prepre mode pa babia woda no edin yie pa ewo ehonom na abra opanyi dako woye assemblyman Asaraga electoral area wo chiremu na ode akire honorable Gilbert Kwame afikpe na ochem se sanipa banu ya wonmu etwa wonmu ti ahomtepa wonmu kotoi se wonmu nkuntunsini ana kyese eda wonmu a wonmu ti no enso ani wonmu a eho asem dan bia wonmu ensi enwieye ewomu honomu afi wo ba konso de akrabo ka no wono so eprepre mode a wo won nseka ne ade a wono so eje ayarhwe a emu odin yie pa ewo honomu na womo ede sa wo hawi ene abenedie asie nyina ho so bo de akwakobo womo ye from Selangas womo da ye mema kentra nwamu a usi wudan anu aba ana wunye esei ana wasai plan we ana ho ahwan wasase bi pese we na wo abetia betini agigigi usofi ni upikas ne ade no won mo san krofo no ana wo de sa sobuye koma wo mo panyimfo se wo mo de wo ni kutu awisi o mienu santami ade hwe se wo mo ensa ebeka wo mo kodi sa abonefusemi na afi ro mahwe na wo mo de wo mo agina emra no ewo Asaraga ho no ma akoye arewo sempa ewo ewonma enye asempetwa ewie ebusua moma yenyina eno so na ye namo a mo hwe ye wo social media ni nyina ase na opambo ewrei eye report wase obeye nuane no de aba na oye nuane pa nti wase odi nuane bebro ya grace enti ane wo nso twan pa ne nuane a woye no enuane ababa we ye nde anya asem koto de aba to so odi bebrewo enti obi a pa nuane bia ne na tese no ano no ewo ho no mo Ofa voyanko
I was there just there Owia Kaseɛ bono SC Harutie every precise 105.9 FM so now share free Owia TV and so and I see Nkoma newsroom abuafo no enyina director Bapa ya agrisemufuo Owura Benedict Asante yeboa akenkanfo no yemme Nana Kwame Achiman Opambo menimnua
abusia pani osu Diomi Sports and eba